One of the things that I really like about move managing with families is that you can have all of their medicine in their medicine cabinet, and then you take pictures, you take photographs, and then when they get to their new home, everything looks exactly the same in the medicine cabinet.
Many people in the senior space have curio cabinets that are full of their treasures from many years. We take pictures of it all, pack it up, and on the other end, when we unpack them, we look at our phones and we set it up exactly to the T of how it was set up.
We were at that house for about 10 years, and it was time to move, and I was overwhelmed. And I just wanted somebody as a backboard to just listen to me and kind of go through items, and they really, really helped.
If a loved one has passed away and they have to move, they have everything from clothes to their items, or personal items of their spouse. They don't want to get rid of them, and we totally will walk them through that and help them.
What does the senior move management company do, and how are they different? Welcome to One Place Aging, your source for answers. Today we are talking to Mike Hazelton, the Chief Moving Officer at Senior Move Masters. They're a senior move management company here in San Diego. And a lot of times, you know how people are moving, but you're not just moving your items, you're moving a lifetime of memories. And so we want to talk about how Senior Move Masters are helping families navigate the emotional and the practical sides of downsizing. So Mike, thank you for coming today.
You're welcome.
I want to talk about the differences between a traditional moving company and what Senior Move Masters does, because for years, for decades, moving companies have been around, packing people up, moving them across the country. And I want to know a little bit, what does the Senior Move Management Company do, and how are they different?
Well, Senior Move Masters is different from a regular moving company, as we're a kind of a boutique company, where we take care of your stuff from start to finish, and we help the individual out completely from start to finish. We take care of getting your items there safely. We pack up everything with delicate care, and we show complete compassion and empathy for who we're moving, taking care of the seniors that we're taking care of.
So one of the things that I really like about move managing with families is that you can have all of their medicine in their medicine cabinet, and then you take pictures. I know you've done this.
Yes.
You take photographs, and then when they get to their new home, everything looks exactly the same in the medicine cabinet. Or for example, you might see a bunch of photos on a wall, and you can take a photo of that and then set that up in their new home. So then it feels like the transition isn't as much of a change. Do you have any other examples of how you've helped someone's living room situation look similar in their new home?
Yeah, like a woman's bathroom is very important to them, and having everything set up the way. So, like, again, we take pictures in the vanity mirror because it's huge.
Yeah.
You know, the bathrooms are.
Our hair is important.
Of course. Many people in the senior space have curio cabinets that are full of their treasures from many years. We take pictures of it all, pack it up, and on the other end, when we unpack them, we look at our phones and we set it up exactly to the T of how it was set up. So familiarity is huge with seniors.
Yeah.
They want to have everything in the same place, and so when they come in, it's a home. They have all their stuff, and that's really important.
And so speaking of stuff, I imagine it's not all going to fit. They're moving from a two-story home to a single-story home, or maybe into a senior living community. And so how do you help them manage the downsizing process to letting them know that it's not all going to fit?
First of all, we come up with a space plan for them. We measure the unit they're moving into, we measure their furniture, and the tape measure doesn't lie. We make sure safety is a huge important thing, so they have to have clearances between their bed and dressers so that there's no impediments for them. And then we go on from there, and we decide what they want to bring, move what moves you, and it's an emotional thing, but we're there for them every step of the way.
And so when they aren't ready to get rid of certain belongings and it's still not going to fit, do they get storage units? Do they have estate sales? Like, what is the process for downsizing for the families?
Sure. There's a number of things you can do with the kind of stuff. People can donate things. They can hold on to it. They have estate sale people that we work with that will come and check out their items and offer to purchase them. You can do a storage unit also, but I find is actually dealing with it one-on-one with your stuff and decide what really moves you. And if it's got, sentimental value, then bring it with you. If we can find a space, we'd love to put, all the pictures of your smiling families on the walls and everything that you love into your new place to make it a home.
I love that. And so traditionally, who is your client?
Mainly seniors, So we help everybody in every walk of life, but seniors need a little extra help and extra care, and that's where we go at Senior Move Masters at Extra Step.
And so when they're in their home and they haven't called you yet, what do you think the reason is that they actually pick up the phone and call you?
Usually it's a family member that has pushed them. They recognize some aging, things going on with their parents. It's a spouse or a loved one that is going to the hospital, having medical issues, and they realize they have to move to get better care for them. That's usually the number one thing. Okay.
And when you are going into the home and you're talking with the family, where do you tell them to begin the process?
Sometimes if they don't have a clue, sometimes I say start in a closet. Use a small area and spend, usually about a couple hours at a time are what seniors can actually handle. Too much of that is too much. Okay. Handle a closet and, give yourself a pat on the back when you can clean out that closet and move from there, then move on to more challenging places, kitchens, offices, things like that.
Okay. And I imagine that you've seen people move things to their new home that they later realize they don't need.
Yes.
Do you see a lot of that?
I see a lot of that actually. And sometimes they have to take it, if it's small, not a 10-foot couch, then a further time they'll realize that they don't really need that, and then they'll get rid of it then. We try and take care of that on the front end, but sometimes they have to see it won't fit in their place and they'll get rid of it.
What if they don't know if they need your services? They're not sure if they're ready for that, but they know they need to move.
Sure.
But they're still kind of wondering if they need a senior move management company at all.
That's where I come into play, is I go out and do a consult with them. It's a free consult we offer, and I sit down with them. Usually takes about an hour. I go over with them and answer any questions they might have, and you form a relationship and realize you take care of them like your own parents. And then they'll call me back later and say, Mike, it was nice to meet you. And there's no pressure. It's just I outline all the things that they need to do and all the information once they have that.
Yeah. How often are the adult children involved, or do they live out of state or out of town? Like, what if the adult children can't help? Because they're busy, right?
That often happens. They'll call us from back east and say, I can't come out there. Then we help them as much, obviously, as we can. But a lot of times families are involved, and they'll dig in and help us actually. And it's great when family comes, because their kids and their parents have their own dynamic, and same with us. And it just helps it go smoother when the families are all on board.
Yeah. I imagine it's also going to be smoother if they know where they're going to be moving to.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
Because then they can understand what they take with them and what it's going to look like, and makes it a little easier to let things go?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Hi, friends. I want to pause here and speak directly to the sons and daughters listening. If your parents' health is changing, if the house isn't supporting them the way it used to, or if you're stepping into decisions you never expected to be making, you may be trying to figure out who should be helping you right now. Well, there's a lot of voices in this space. The key is knowing which one actually fits your situation, and that's where a discovery call can help. During that conversation, we look at your specific circumstances and get clear on what needs attention first. It's about helping you identify the right next step and the right professional for your situation, so you're not guessing or reacting or carrying the weight by yourself. If having that kind of clarity would steady things for you, you'll find the booking link in the show notes. Now, back to the episode. Now, the cost of this, right? That's a big concern for people.
Of course.
So what do fees look like?
Fees look like senior move managers. They can range anywhere from $75 an hour to $150 an hour. We're at $97 an hour per person, right in the middle of the road. And it just depends the amount of help that they need, but we'll take care of them.
What are some of the common emotional challenges that these older adults are going through? And then how do you help them manage that?
Usually if a loved one has passed away and they have to move, they have everything from clothes to their items, the personal items of their spouse. They don't want to get rid of them. And we totally will walk them through that and help them. If they don't have enough room for all their clothes and they want to hold on to their spouse's clothes, it's a very delicate matter. And once we sit with them and they know that we're invested with them emotionally, it's a little bit easier, and we go through and walk them through things.
Okay, so you don't force them to get rid of anything?
Never, no.
Okay. I used your services when we had lived in our home for about 10 years. And so our kids were little. One child was 11 months old when we moved there. And then I soon later had another baby. And so, when they're little, you have tons of big things to support their lives, right?
Yes.
And so we were at that house for about 10 years, and it was time to move. And I was overwhelmed. And I just wanted somebody as a backboard to just listen to me and kind of go through items. And they really, really helped. I forget the gal that helped me. I think it was Michelle. But she helped me go through the items and look at them, and just it allowed me to let them go. And it was so much easier than having to decide on my own. And I made the decision, but it was just like nice having that sounding board.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. What, when you're dealing with all the dynamics of the families, and the adult children are like, they're kind of pushing their parents out. This doesn't happen all the time, of course. I'm just giving a very specific scenario. They're like, Mom, Dad, you need to go faster. How do you, what are some tips that you have to help ease that process?
I tell them to be very patient. Us at Senior Move Masters are very patient because we realize that as you get older, you don't move as quickly. And so patience is a key, and don't push them whatsoever, and make them realize. And through my experience, I tell people that you might not need 5 vacuums to bring to your new place. And just from what we've been doing our whole 21 years in existence, and people realize that they trust us. And having that trust with people coming into your home, and they don't know you, and they develop a relationship with you, and they're more likely to trust and do what you tell them.
So how soon in the process do you think that they should contact you?
I always tell them, even before you've found a place, start as soon as you can. Some people, I'll ask them, when are they moving? And they'll tell me this Thursday.
Oh.
And other times they have a couple months, which is perfect, because then you can start baby steps, seeing what you want to bring. The earlier, the better.
So how far out does your calendar book up?
Usually about a month out. Usually, with all the different things with real estate and escrows and stuff, we're pretty flexible because we realize that it's a lot of balls in the air, and there's stress involved, huge stress for them, and we try and take that on our shoulders off of them.
So what is the actual process of helping them through the whole downsizing process, packing them up, moving them into their new home? What does that look like?
Starting out, again, if they have a place they're moving to, we'll find out the space area they can deal with. We'll know exactly what they can bring, and then we start dealing with the items that they will not bring, whether it's through estate sales. A lot of people have landscapers, housekeepers that they've dealt with for 20 to 30 years, and we tell them to put your items out to the universe again. And people are so in need of things these days. So to farm your stuff out, give it another life. Let another family have those things that you've enjoyed your life. Let them repurpose it and reuse it. And you feel good inside, and you've gotten rid of some of your stuff.
And when do you recommend that they consider having an estate sale?
Usually towards the end of when they're ready to move into a place. They will move in first because the estate people want the house to be empty. Then they can do their thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then you've done the space planning at their new home. You've had the conversations about what they want to keep and what they want to get rid of. And what happens next?
Then we pick a move-in date. Then we back engineer it from there. Usually it takes us 2 days. 1 day to pack them up, the next day to move them, and then set everything up, hang the pictures on the wall, make their bed, all that good stuff, bring everything, take the trash away, and then we're done. We wish them the best.
Where do they sleep on the evening in between the packing and the moving?
We let them sleep in their own bed that night. We pack the bed up on move day so that they don't have to get a hotel room or this or that. So we let them stay the last night in their bed.
And are they typically at home as the home is being packed up, or do they leave for the day?
Some people, their kids will take them out for the day. Some people like to be there and actually watch us do our thing, and that's quite all right. That is very okay.
Okay. And then what about the moving company? So do you have a specific moving company you work with? Or
we use a specific moving company because they're family owned, they do a great job, they're affordable, and they know all the different communities that we move people into. So they know where the stairs, the elevators are. So just getting one mover that says, oh, I can do that, they don't know the area. So we stick with one, and they do a great job.
One thing I really like about Senior Move Masters is that you're the front guy, you're the chief moving officer. But everybody else that I've met at the company, they are the nicest people. They're patient, they know what they're doing, they're on task. And sometimes the front person is just that, they're the front person, and then what's behind the scene is completely different. Your company is completely solid all the way through, and just great people that work there. So.
Yes, we go through background checks, training classes, all kinds of stuff. And I'm usually the one that interviews them, because usually we're looking for them. I tell them you have to have a great attitude, a good smile, and empathy and compassion in your heart. And if you have those things, you'll be fine working with us.
What I heard you say is that calling you sooner than later becomes really important because then you find out, you put a date in the future and you back engineer it to the whole moving process.
Yes.
And that date can be moved out further if they need more time, correct?
Oh, yes, definitely.
But if they call you and they're ready to move in 2 to 3 weeks and there's no availability, then that family is going to be kind of ill prepared for what's to come. So by calling sooner and getting on your calendar, that's really going to make things move a lot smoother.
Definitely. And we pick out a team lead. It's like a project manager that will go specifically for that client, meet with them early on, and that's their go-to person. And so they can ask any questions of them, tell them any news updates on what, and a lot of times with escrows and real estate, as we know, things fall through, this or that, we're flexible. So we get calls sometimes the night before saying, my gosh, this fell through. We're okay. We're flexible with it. And we can usually, go with the flow.
Once they sign the contract, and if something happens, their circumstances change, and they decide they don't want to move, how does that handled?
That's okay. We totally understand that. And there's no harm, no foul. We still have their file. And sometimes they'll call us back up in another few months when the timing's right. But we don't hold their feet to the fire and say, sorry, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
There's no lost money.
No lost money whatsoever.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, good to know. So in closing, I want to know a little bit more about you. Why did you start working with seniors and in this field?
Well, I lost my mom back in 2007, and I was kind of a wash and grief. And I met the owner of Senior Move Masters. She said, maybe Mike, you'd like to do this. And I went on a few jobs first off, and I found my niche. They're my parents, my pseudo parents that I can take care of, and make sure that they're well taken care of at the end of the day, and they smile. And that's why I got into it.
Do you have a favorite story, or maybe the first time that you helped a family go through this that you want to share?
Sure. One of the first moves we did was with a lady who had lost her husband. He was a veteran. And we moved her and all of her pictures and stuff that he had and plaques and awards. We made the whole second bedroom into kind of a shrine for him. And we brought her in, and she was sitting there, she was crying, and she couldn't get over how beautiful it looked. And she thanked us. And then I left. I said, I found my niche.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
We do help a lot of great people.
Definitely.
Yes. In closing, is there anything that you would like to share? Anything I haven't asked you about and you think it's important for the audience to know?
We do a great job, and we help people out, and don't hesitate to call us or any Senior Move Management, because they really need us. And nothing, we like to just take care of people. And most of our business is from referrals, because people like to talk about it. Such a good job we've done. So
yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
And I know that the audience got a lot of really great, useful information from this.
Great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We hope today's discussion gave you the clarity and the support that you need on your journey. And please subscribe and share this with somebody else on this journey so that they can benefit as well. Stay tuned for next week's episode, where we bring in another senior service specialist, where we can bring you more insights and guidance to help you along your journey. And thank you for being part of this conversation.